The days that followed the confession were filled with silence and avoidance. Amara no longer responds to Eniola's messages. Her presence, now an empty seat in the cafeteria and a vacant desk beside Eniola in classes. Eniola's once vibrant world is now muted, colors drained by the weight of her guilt. The distance between her and Amara is an aching void that swallows her whole. Every attempt to reach out is met with cold rejection, leaving Eniola in a state of constant anxiety. She can't escape the gnawing regret that haunts her every waking moment. Dami too becomes a ghost in her life, though they see each other occasionally on campus. Their interactions are strained and awkward. The unspoken truth between them has turned what was once thrilling into something tainted. They avoided the places where they once met in secret, knowing those memories are now poisoned by the hurt they've caused. Eniola feels herself spiraling, her grades slipping, her once clear path now shrouded in uncertainty. She loses herself in the routine of classes and assignments, but even these distractions can't drown out the echo of her betrayal. The tension becomes unbearable when Eniola runs into Amara in the library. Their eyes meet for a fleeting moment, and Eniola sees the pain she has caused reflected in her friend's gaze. But before she can muster the courage to speak, Amara looks away, her expression hardening as she walks past Eniola as though she doesn't exist. The encounter leaves Eniola shaken, a fresh wave of guilt crashing over her. She realizes with a sinking heart that the damage may be beyond repair. Weeks turn into months and the trial drifts further apart. Amara begins to rebuild her life, starting to date a new guy named Jide, a kind, soft-spoken law student who seems to bring out the best in her. Seeing Amara with someone else deepens the chasm between them, but it also brings a strange relief to Eniola. At least she thinks Amara is finding some happiness. However, this development only amplifies the sense of loss that pervades Eniola's life. Eniola and Dami, once so intertwined in their secret world, now find themselves awkward strangers. They attempt to rekindle their connection, but it's clear that the spark is gone, overshadowed by the wreckage of what they have lost. Their conversations are stilted, filled with forced pleasantries that fail to mask the underlying tension. Eniola feels an overwhelming sense of futility. Every time they meet, it's as though they are both trying to salvage something already lost. The pressure becomes too much when Dami suggests that they take a break from seeing each other. Eniola agrees, though it feels like another loss, another painful severing of ties. She retreats further into herself, avoiding social gatherings and spending her time studying alone in her room. Her isolation deepens, the once bright connections in her life now dimmed or severed completely. She starts to wonder if those fleeting moments of passion were worth the destruction they have wrought. One evening, out of the blue, Amara texts Eniola asking to meet. The message is brief and to the point, offering no hint of the emotion behind it. Eniola's heart races as she stares at the screen, unsure whether to feel hope or dread. After a moment of hesitation, she agrees and they arrange to meet at a quiet cafe off campus. The tension is palpable when Eniola arrives at the cafe. She spots Amara immediately, sitting at a corner table, her expression unreadable. Eniola's heart pounds in her chest as she approaches, feeling as though she's walking into a final judgment. The silence stretches between them after they exchange stiff greetings, the weight of unspoken words hanging heavy in the air. Amara is the first to speak, her voice steady but laced with an undercurrent of pain. She tells Eniola how much the betrayal hurt, how it shattered the trust she had placed in her best friend. As Amara talks, Eniola feels each word like a dagger to her heart. But beneath the anger, there is a note of weariness in Amara's voice, a desire to move past the hurt, even if things can never go back to the way they were. I don't think I can ever forget what happened, Amara says finally, her eyes locking with Eniola's. But I don't want to hold on to this anger forever. It's exhausting. Eniola nods, her throat tight with urged tears. I'm so sorry, Amara. I never wanted it to hurt you. I've regretted it every single day. Amara looks at her, the anger softening into something like sadness. I know, but things will never be the same between us. I can't pretend otherwise. They sit in silence for a moment, the finality of Amara's words sinking in. Eniola knows that while the conversation might offer some closure, it's also a goodbye to the friendship they once had. When they finally part, there is no dramatic reconciliation, no promises of renewed closeness, just a mutual understanding that they've both changed, and so has their relationship. As they enter their final year at the university, the once inseparable trio now exists in separate worlds. Amara, now more at peace, focus on her relationship with Jide and her studies. Dami throws himself into his academics, determined to make the most of his final year, while Eniola quietly withdraws from their shared circles, finding solace in new interests and distant friendship. One day, Eniola and Dami meet for what they both know will be their last conversation about them. They sit on a bench near the campus lake, the hair thick with unspoken thoughts. Eniola is the first to break the silence. I think we both know this isn't going to work, she says, her voice tinged with resignation. Dami nods, his expression one of quiet acceptance. Yeah, sure. We started this the wrong way. I don't think we can ever escape what it's done to us. There is no bitterness in their words, just a shared understanding of the reality they faced. They part with a sense of closure, knowing that while their connection was real, it was never meant to last. It was built on a foundation of secrecy and betrayal, and such things rarely endure. In the weeks that follow, Eniola throws herself into her studies, but it's not just to escape her emotions. It's because she's determined to find something more in her life, something that isn't tainted by the past. She begins to connect with new people, to explore hobbies she had long neglected. Slowly, she starts to rebuild her life, not as the person she once was, but as someone different, someone who has learned from her mistakes. One afternoon, as she was walking across campus, Eniola passes by a spot where she and Amara used to spend their breaks, laughing and sharing secrets. She pauses, a wave of nostalgia washing over her, but instead of sadness, she feels a quiet acceptance. Things have changed, and that's okay. Life doesn't always tie up neatly, and not all relationships survive the trials they face.